Hey guys, welcome back to an episode of Silver Suggests, and today we're going to be covering, I've been looking forward to this one, Grand Theft Auto 5 and slash online. I'm excited for this, guys. I obviously, if you guys have been watching on stream, I've been playing a good bit of this the past week and everything. So I want to go over my pros, my cons, and what my end-all verdict is, obviously, as we usually do. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and that way you can always be aware whenever a new video drops. And also check out my other videos. There will be some to link in the end here at the end of the video. So stay to the end, see everything that happens. Alright guys, so starting off with the good stuff, the pros. I love the classic feel of Grand Theft Auto in this game. And Rockstar has a method, it works, and honestly, they should keep with it. And you feel like a lot of the other Grand Theft Autos in the way the game plays, and that's what you should feel. That's exactly how you should approach a game that you're familiar with. So you get that out of it in both, and this is number two, the story and online modes. So basically there is a story, there is also an online mode completely separate, so you can play both. You can play a story by yourself, or you can play the online mode where there's actually lots of other players, you can have friends and everything, and that's actually, that's something that you can choose to do on your own. It's whatever you want to do, however you want to play. Those controls, that's number three, is going to be very smooth. You're going to have very good transitions on most everything you do. Good response times. There's even from what I have experienced on Xbox, you've got a aim assist with you're aiming as soon as you pull down the aim up on the trigger. You're going to be, and look down sight, you're going to be aiming right towards a target if it's close. So that's a little helpful, or very helpful in some situations. So otherwise, all the controls very, very smooth. The driving, everything feels very natural. There's a lot of different stats to the vehicles, so each one behaves a little bit differently. So that's a nice way they've put it out there. And in addition to that, there are many things you can do. So in the story mode, I haven't progressed a ton yet, but there are a lot of different characters to interact with, which is not uncommon. But with the actual online modes, there's a lot of different things you can do, and they don't all become available immediately whenever you start playing. So some of what you do, you have to unlock certain, certain buildings, certain ownership of certain things, so that way you can actually participate in those events, be them heists or looting materials or something like that, something where you make even more money. And you can also do this with friends, which is really nice. And that's number 5 on the pros list, which is online multiplayer. You can play how you want. There are so many different options. I've even heard of people playing passive runs where they are literally trying their best to not commit any crimes whatsoever, which is amazing. That's actually such an amazing thing that people are trying to do. So but obviously, Grand Theft Auto kind of exists around the idea of crime, so you're going to definitely see lots of things that you can do to break the law and achieve some kind of financial benefit by doing so. But yeah, there are so many different ways you can even hunt down bounties on other players, because they will be placed by other players, and sometimes the computer, based on what the player is doing. There's tons of different missions. And now that there's a casino in there, you can actually do online gambling, which, it's all based around the idea of a criminal empire style world, and you can build a criminal empire. You can actually do gun running. There's so many different things that you can do within Grand Theft Auto Online. There's a lot of different ways to play, and that's one of my top things. So going on now to the cons, to the negative stuff, to the bad stuff. So I'm going to start off with what I wrote as number 3. I'm going to start off as first, and that is that the money can be hard to come by. There are some difficulties in obtaining a lot of money at the beginning, because even though you can sell cars, you can only do it so often. You can do some missions, but the missions don't really pay a lot. The best paying mission is probably the things that Maud gives you to track down a person, and if you bring them back, you get 10 grand, which is really good. But Other than that, you have to do special events to actually get a good amount of money fairly fast. Like, I think at your best, you can probably expect to be pulling in about $20,000 to $30,000 per hour of gameplay. Which, when you start seeing how much you need to pay to get some of the higher end or higher things, like, that becomes an issue. You actually need to buy stuff that's worth a couple million. So, I mean, they have made it so that you are expected to play the game a good bit before you get to the point where you can actually buy the best stuff in the game. But you can get a garage for, I think it's $35,000, and you can also get vehicles to put in the garage for just a couple thousand. So it's not difficult to have vehicles, a garage, and a place to spawn. It is difficult, however, to get to the best stuff to actually start a criminal empire. So that might be a little difficult for you. Coming up second, I'm just going backwards on the list, is the language. Obviously, like, this is a Grand Theft Auto game, so language is going to be a factor. There's going to be all kinds of profanity and inappropriate speak. Which should be no surprise for Grand Theft Auto veterans, but somebody who's new to it might be super surprised of some of the things they hear. So, hopefully this prepares you guys, if you've never actually played a Grand Theft Auto before, that's something that you're going to have to see and hear within the game. And, I mean, like, I'm going to throw in another one here that I didn't even think about, but sexual content. Like, that's absolutely... We'll put that as number 3 on our list of sexual content, because there are things that are discussed, and you can see, because there are prostitutes within the game, that is going to be something that you probably don't want just anybody seeing or hearing about within the game. So keep that in mind. And the last one, the biggest one in my opinion, is violence. Now, I don't want to get on like a political platform, crazy talk like here, but we are as a society trying to limit the amount of violence that our children are do intake throughout their journey in adolescence. But this game is definitely one that's going to reveal a lot of violence. There's blood, there is violence, there is a lot of crime, obviously. Like, these are not small topics. So you have to keep all these things in mind. Like, there's a lot of death. You can literally kill a bunch of people. I'm talking like you could kill 5 to 10 people, evade the cops, and have nothing wrong with that anymore. Like, they would just not know that you did it, and that's the end. And that's commonplace within a Grand Theft Auto game. So you have to be very, very aware that that's something you are going to see within the game when you consider going in to whether or not you want to play that game for yourself or with someone else, with somebody else in the room, who knows. So going with that into my final verdict. And usually, I mean, I've been really wanting to have a final verdict that was a straightforward no. Well, I can't give you that just yet. So for my final verdict, the answer is yes and no. So the yes is absolutely, if you are an adult, 18 plus, and have a decent head on your shoulders, I would absolutely suggest this game for you, because it's one of those things where it's like, if you've ever wanted to try something, if you've ever wanted to just experiment or see how negative you could be, how you could do a criminal enterprise, something like that, with the complete knowledge that it's not something you would actually do in real life, then this game's totally for you. And it can be a lot of fun knowing that all the bad things you're doing are not actually happening. But then I'm also going to go into this. The answer is also no, because you start looking at the actual world in a way that makes you feel like it's Grand Theft Auto. Your whole mindset can be altered to be like, well, maybe I can cut this corner. Maybe I could drive on the sidewalk. Maybe I could just run this red light. Maybe I could just evade the cops. These are all bad things. These are not things you would want to do in real life on a regular basis. It's not something like, you're obviously not trying to kill people for their money and then try to evade cops. So, like, I would say not a lot of people actually think about doing these things on a regular basis. But Grand Theft Auto definitely makes you consider these things. So you have to be aware of that. You have to be very aware that that's something that can be put into your mind. Be that the case, you have to consider that whenever you're giving this game to possibly someone under the age of 18 who is very impressionable, that's something that you might not want to do. Now, I am not here to parent your children. You parent your own children, but I would never hand this game to my child. And, you know, my daughter, I love her dearly, and I will always give her the sunshine and rainbows if I can, but this is not something that I would hand to her. So the answer is yes and no. I hope you guys can go off that. So thanks a lot, guys. That is the end of this video. If you have not already, like I said, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. I do stream live on Twitch. It's every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is twitch.tv/silverdeath_gaming. All my links are in the descriptions below. Please make sure you comment on the video. Let me know as to what you liked, what you didn't like, and if there's any game that you would specifically like me to review in the future, let me know. Check one of these two videos, and I'll talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye.